Hello, BookTube. Welcome to Preptober. This was a project started by Steve Donahue. I've also seen Jay Shea do a video on this. So this is preparation for NaNoWriMo in November. And I've decided this year I'm going to go ahead and give it a shot. It's about 1,666 or 67 words a day for a month. So you end up with a pretty sizable manuscript. It is novel writing, so it's fiction. So Steve challenged us to have a name, pretty much what our plans were and all that to start off this week. He's been a little under the weather, so we've put it off until today instead of yesterday, which is probably good for me. Things just started and I'm already putting things off. That's not a good sign, right? But I did. I will go and update my NaNoWriMo page. I'm going to figure out how to do that. It's been so long since I've done one. I think I have to reactivate mine, but I'll do it today. But I thought I'd get into the basics of what my plans are. And this feels a little odd until you've got it down on paper. It feels odd to talk about. I almost have a superstitious dread that if I talk about it, I won't do it. So, but we'll get through it. I think the discipline's a good one. Write a certain number of pages per day, a certain number of words, and that's what it takes, right? So the title of my story, or my novel's working title, is Norumbega. And then the genre is going to be a space opera. It's not going to be military sci-fi, but it'll be a little similar. It'll be about a group of treasure hunters in the fairly distant future. So there are inhabited, scattered worlds by humanity. There's no overarching federation or that type of thing that's common, nor are there massive interstellar fleets. There's interstellar travel, but fleets in this scenario would be too costly and probably not all that effective in the world building I'm doing. So the ship that this is there's going to be a group of a captain or a leader, I'm not sure what we'll call him in the future here, but a crew of 6 on this ship. The ship is called the Norumbega. The AI of the ship is tied into the captain. It's his ship. And the AI is a character called Nora for Norumbega. And they're professional treasure hunters. They're not good guys or bad guys. But it's a risky profession. The planets and asteroid belts, everything will vary quite a bit when they stop places because that's sort of part of the world building, sort of the point. And each place is very unique because there isn't an overarching culture. It's human, but every place you go, it manifests itself uniquely, and that'll be some of the fun, I hope. Some places are lawless, others are very strict. Some places are gorgeous, and other places are a little beat up. So I'll have a lot of settings where things can take place. And when they're looking for treasure, the advantage is this is so far in the future, even stuff way in our future would be considered ancient by the time these folks roll around. So I can take treasures, have the quest for the treasure be something that doesn't even exist yet, which would be great fun inventing that. I want each member of the crew to have a distinct personality. I don't want it to reflect nowadays so much. I'd like some interesting variations that maybe we would see in the future. Have to have an antagonist, and I'm still working on that. Do I have the antagonist be another ship of treasure hunters? Do I have it be, somebody trying to protect a treasure? Do you have it, somebody had a grudge with one of the crew and it just gets out of hand? It can be a lot of things, but I'm really working on that. So right now I'm working on putting the crew together, their characteristics, what makes them unique, how they work together. A lot of that will be explored when I write, but I like to have a good solid sketch. And I also want to have opening scene that's pretty dramatic, but then leads us to being introduced to this crew. This crew gets drawn in to the hunt. So I've been working on some beginning stuff, some scenes. Yeah, what else have I got here? So a list working basically on the protagonist and antagonist. I have the crew listed out. I do not have names for everybody yet. And the antagonist is even sketchier. It's mainly, a main antagonist with a crew, I'm thinking right now, but I haven't gotten far enough on that. So we might go from one planet, it's Wild Wild West, and then the next planet, it's Paris. It's just that type of thing, but set in the far future. I'm really looking forward to doing it. And I'll have more updates. Hopefully tomorrow I can list, or the next day, I can list where I am on NaNoWriMo's site for anybody else who's doing this. So that is my Preptober announcement, and hopefully I covered everything Steve wanted us to cover. So I have got a title, and I am working on characters and some of the structures. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you, BookTube and AuthorTube.